Welcome back to Money Mondays, Financial Literacy 101, Closing the Wealth Gap. My name is Robert Scott, and in today's episode, we're going to talk all about credit, how to build credit, how to establish credit, how to get credit cards, where to get credit cards, everything credit. So get your pens and paper, get your questions ready. Share this, invite other people who may need the financial literacy information, and we're going to have a good time. Today's episode is special for me because I'm going to bring on a few individuals that if it wasn't for them, I probably would not be on here doing these Money Mondays. So they were very, very inspirational to me. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring on the cast of the Plug People Living Under Grace podcast. First of all, I'm going to bring on Joseph. Let me see. Joseph, are you there?
I am here, sir.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Now, I'm new at this, so this whole technology thing.
You doing good?
Let's see if I can bring on Dominique. Let's see here. Hey, how you doing? And last but definitely not least, let's see if we can bring in Brian and Sade.
Hey. What's up?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Hey, everybody.
Man, good. I'm so glad to have. This is very ironic. I want you guys to know that I was on their podcast, and now they're on my podcast. Joseph, let me start with you. Take some time and tell the people about the Plug podcast and what you guys represent.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Mr. Scott, because this is amazing. This is very ironic, and it's actually humbling because, it's been a minute since we've, been together. But the Plug People Living Under Grace is a podcast that's designed to connect everybody to the God of our salvation through his son, Jesus Christ. We are of the millennial age group. We all went to the same high school together. So even that in and of itself is God ordained that we come back together in different locations of the country. Definitely. To just come together to share our perspective on finances, faith, and family, parenting, you name it. We talk about it, everything in between. So it's just something that we can all come together and just talk about just real life stuff. And meeting you has been definitely influential for us because it brings the whole piece of the financial part of everything that we do and talk about all comes together.
And if people wanted to listen to you guys, where would they find your podcast?
So they can find us on every social media platform as far as podcasting platforms. The plug with Joseph A, Dominique Soares, Brian and Sade B. It is long, but it's definitely, you'll find it. We're the only ones out there. And also on every social media platform at the Plug We Are Us 4 on every social media platform.
Good. Everybody definitely listening. Get your chance. While you're in the car, if you want to get some entertaining listening, definitely plug into the Plug. I happen to be, I want to tell this quick story. Well, Brian, let me get you to tell it, how this journey began and how, talk to us about how it began, how you and I met, and what was your mindset at the time that you and I met?
So we met, I was actually ear hustling. I was at work and you was talking to a customer, giving them financial tips. And I was working with a customer and my mindset was the lady doesn't understand the principles that this man is dropping right now. So I automatically knew that you knew exactly what you were talking about when it came to finances. And the funny thing is we were actually in a financial bind at the time. So we was really looking for help in that area. So you happened to cross our path, man. And I was like, sir, I just need to talk to you real quick. I just want to ask you some questions. And then you just put us on game from there. And here we are, credit score shot up, multiple businesses, multiple streams of revenue.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, you go a little too fast.
I was trying to get
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
All right.
So basically, yeah, I happen to be in the store, and my wife say I talk too much. She say I be talking all the time, but I just can't help it because real estate and business, and it's my passion. So anybody that'll listen, you know what I mean, I'm going to talk. Now, they don't have to take my advice, but, you know, at least you can't say you never heard the information, you know. So I want you guys to know that maybe, Brian, I don't think you and I spoke for about maybe 2 years. Well, we spoke maybe through text here and there, but I hadn't really seen you guys in about 2 years. And then I get a text from Brian. He's like, Mr. Scott, you know, we started this podcast and we want you to be a guest. I'm like, be a guest? Me? Like, okay, well, you know. And so I want to thank you guys personally for that, because I didn't realize what type of impact that the information would have on individuals. The information can be life-changing, you know, depending on where you are and what you're trying to accomplish. And as we know that schools, we don't get that information from the schools. So, you know, where else are you going to get it? You know what I mean? And get it from someone who's been through it, not just somebody who's writing a book or somebody who wants to give some type of lecture or, you know, or something like that. Dominique, how are you? You good?
I'm fine. I got to keep myself muted because y'all know I got a bunch of boys. Not always quiet.
That's just fine. But talk to us just a quick minute about where you were credit-wise when we first got together. And well, you ain't got to go deep into it, but just, you know, surface and what were you trying to get out of the information that I was going to relay to you?
Okay. Actually, my husband and I have been in the process of trying to buy a home. We still haven't bought one yet, but I got involved with some shady lenders who were not able to hold up their end of the bargain. It resulted in my credit having to be pulled multiple times, and my credit score shot down way low. And then Brian told us about Mr. Scott. We were definitely looking for someone in general that can come and give us some sort of financial tips or whatever. And I had someone in mind. I'm glad that we work as a team, and we decide on things as a team, because you are definitely a big inspiration for all of us and have been a big help for all of us. But just taking your advice, shoot, my credit score is definitely where it needs to be for us to get a house. But because of the wisdom and jewels that you've dropped on us, I know financially right now, it would not be a smart move for us to go from where we are now to be in a lot more debt. So I'm making strategic moves before we execute. So at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. There was a reason why I was involved with the shady lender, and I ended up not getting into this home that was going to be double, almost triple our rent that we're paying now. So yeah, I'm slowing it down and using wisdom.
Good.
So I appreciate you for that.
Good. Joseph, your turn. Let us know basically where you were at the time that you and I met, and how maybe some of the things I had to say helped you, and maybe some of the things you implemented.
So I was a mess. Like I said, like Dominique has said, because we were talking about, like we said before, faith, family, and finances. And so, you know, when your name came up, it was just like, oh, okay, well, let's try this up. And after the first show that we did, I mean, I was kind of blown away. I mean, I was very emotional. It was a lot going on in my head. I was just like, we just need to just kind of stop everything. But for the most part, I have definitely seen an increase in my credit, even with just a little stuff, you know, sending letters to lenders, you know, not, you know, kind of, I was in a mode at the time of trying to just figure out what I owed, how can I settle for less? And then on top of which, just kind of paying it off just to get rid of it, because I felt like I owed it because it was mine and I'm trying to be a good steward over my finances. But then in one of our, I think it was our first episode, that you was like, you know, find out if they have all the right information. And so that became life for me, because I'm like, okay, wait a minute, how can you say that I owe you this if you don't even have my birthday right? You know, so it was just, it's kind of like being more thorough and more intentional And I also got into that Navy Federal. So,
I was going to cut you off if you didn't get in. I was definitely going to cut you off
because we deemed you the godfather of the plug. So it's like it had to work. But and even in that, like I was definitely discouraged because all the cast members got into Navy Federal. Dominica's been it from day one. Got in, without a hitch, and I was just like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, dang, Lord, like, what's going on? And then, funny enough, I felt like you had I felt like I called you, then I got in. I was like, Mr. Scott is working behind the scenes with Navy Federal, like, you need to get my number, because they was like, you're approved, like, I'm signing you up for these two accounts, like, what you mean, like, all, you know what I'm saying? But that was hard, but it was a humbling process. So definitely feeling like accomplishing little steps, but one thing I will say is that the 5-year thing the plan that we talked about, giving yourself time, and that definitely slowed me down. You don't have to do everything right away because it takes time. Right. So pacing yourself, going at the pace of grace, as our big brother Michael Todd will always say. So
yeah, basically, it's building a relationship. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? Things are going to happen. You're going to have ups and downs and, trials and tribulations. But if you just stick to the plan, you know what I mean? Just stick to the plan, stick to the things that, we talked about. And we'll go into some of those things here. You'll get to the finish line. You will. All right, Brian and Sade. Sade, let me ask you a question. What did you think when Brian came home and he told you that he met this guy who he thought had some good information that maybe could help you guys out? What did you think?
Of course, at first I was a little skeptical because we don't know you.
Oh, we know him now.
Well, we didn't know you. So I'm like, okay, and I know I was just like, okay, we could just give him a try. I just wanted to hear you first, the information that you were telling us and what we needed to do. And I think what really gave me the okay, this is real is once we did it and it started to work. People can tell you many things and nothing happens, or they're just trying to get money from you or out of you or whatever. But yeah, it worked. And so that's what really made me like, okay. So yeah.
How much did I charge you guys?
0.
Only thing you charged us was to share the information.
Right.
You mean I didn't charge you anything?
Nope. Just to share. That was it.
Nope.
And so can you just share with us some of the success you've had since I've been sharing the information?
Well, when we began, we had things on our credit, and that's where we started with you, and you told us or taught us how we can send in the forms and get the things written and get them off of our credit, and that's where it began. And I think with that one just took a little while because we need to get things off our credit, so it took time.
Right.
And then when we got past that point, we were like, okay, what's next? So we need to start talking to Mr. Scott to see what's next, and then
we got credit cards, multiple bank accounts,
LLCs,
that's bringing in revenue, and just seeing the credit grow and seeing the business grow and being able to pass it to our kids. Now, when Israel, he's like our oldest, when he hits 13, he's going to have an LLC.
Oh yeah, definitely.
By the time he's 18, his LLC has 5 years already tenured. And then we're going to add them as authorized users on our credit cards.
Hey, don't be dropping that authorized user thing.
Right.
Keep that in your back pocket.
Right. We're going to set him up. Like you told us, he's going to walk in thinking it's going to be unfair.
Right.
So,
I know where we began, though, I was at low 5s, and now I'm in the 7s. So
high 7s.
So
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous. I should be charging y'all for the information.
But yeah, so we've been seeing the fruit of the principles that you've given us. Staying consistent, being patient is the main thing, and diligent and disciplined, because it's tempting.
Yeah,
it's very tempting.
Yeah. And then what happens is, hopefully, and I don't know if you guys can speak to this, is that once you start learning the information and you hear someone else who may have been where you are, you just can't help yourself. You have to share it with them.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, wait a minute, no. You can join Navy Federal because I did it, and so and so and so. You know what I mean? And that's why I really did it. I really did it to create like a community, but each one teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to be around forever. You
Right.
know what I mean? But the words, and what I'm teaching is not new. It's just new to you guys. But I've been telling folks this for 20 years. 20 years I've been telling people about 401ks and the credit and credit cards and real estate and things like that. So, but now with the advent of the internet, it's just easier to disseminate the information because the platform, right, allows me to talk to multiple people at multiple times. Dominique, so with your boys, do you have a plan moving forward? Are you going to start LLCs for them, or how are you going to use the information for
Most
the next
definitely.
generation?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to look for the text message I had sent you because everybody keeps repeating like the slow. But for me, I kind of shot up quick. I think the Lord was trying to like show me like, all right, I'm about to do this for you. What you about to do? You know, are you going?
Yeah, I think you got about 100 points, didn't you? Didn't you get about 100?
My score went up quick.
Yeah.
Really quick. One was 102 points. The other one was 39 points.
And
Like
how much did I charge you?
Nothing.
Oh, wait a minute now. Wait. So you mean to tell me other places charge $99 a month to do what you did how long did it take you?
That just pissed me off because I was one of those that paid the $99 a month at one point.
Joseph, you too?
Mine was actually $80.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's like California taxes. I'm sorry, I'm going to behave today.
Yes. Another one I paid, I think it was $15.
And how long did you use? Yeah. How long did it take you when you used the techniques that I taught you? How long did it take you to raise your credit score?
I don't know. We just met you not too long ago, and I already got this this progress. So it wasn't that long at all. I did some of the things you talked to us about. I got my own credit card. Put my husband's car in both of our names.
Mm-hmm.
And I made him an authorized user on my credit card. So both of our scores we're authorized users on each other's credit cards. So yeah, that helped tremendously. But I'm definitely with Brian and Sade. I am going to put my children, make them authorized users, so that they can start building their.
I mean, you guys have been in school a little, I guess, sooner than I have, or whatever the situation that I haven't been to school in 30 years or so. But why do you think after all this time they still are not teaching financial literacy? And Joseph, I'll start with you.
Because it doesn't benefit the masses. It doesn't benefit. If there's no benefit, it doesn't benefit the 1% that kind of run this whole gamut of society. It benefits them for us as a general population to go to school, to have a working for somebody else mentality. So that way, that's all we do for the rest of our lives, and then we die. And then the cycle repeats itself consistently with generations to come. So I feel like it doesn't really benefit, like I said, the 1%.
Brian and Sade, want to join in on that?
I would say control when it comes down to it, because the more ignorant you are, the more control they will have over you. So when it comes to financial freedom, financial literacy, there's a reason why it's not being taught. And also for generations, like for your kids, this is where the wealth begins with us, for them. We get to pass the knowledge on to the younger generation. That's going to change, for the future. So the control aspect of it.
I concur.
You concur.
And like I told you guys before, that I wouldn't charge you anything. But what you have to promise me that you're going to do is take the information and pass it on. Because if we can do that, we can close the wealth gap, because we got to close it from the bottom up. We can't close it from the top down. I mean, if you don't know about a checking account and interest rates and credit cards and real estate, then how are you going to right? How are you going to amass anything? Because you can work your whole life, but if you never learn to invest, then your growth is going to be kind of slow, right? You have to learn, to invest. So because the show is about credit, I want to mention to you guys something that I may not have mentioned before, and that is, have you guys thought about getting into the rent-a-car game? By doing Turo or hire car.
Yeah.
Right? Because now I'm not going to get into it too deep, but basically, if you bought a car, let's say, and you put it on hire car and somebody rented it out for $200 a week, but your payment was only $200 a week, that you would cash flow $600. Put 2 cars, $1,200, 3 cars, $1,800, so on and so forth. Well, in order to buy a house, it's a little bit more difficult, isn't it, Brian and Sade? Yeah, it's a little more difficult than it is to just do that. But there are other advantages to owning real estate, right? There are other advantages to owning real estate. So I think that what happens is, when you guys get your credit together, I want you to look at multiple streams of income, not just one. It's not just real estate. It could be you write songs, or you start a business, or like I said, you do Turo, or you do credit repair, or whatever that thing is. Buy laundromats, start a lending business, whatever that thing is. You've got to have multiple streams of income. So some of the things that we did earlier on, right, was make sure that we clean up our credit. Now, did I mention to you guys about clearing up the names, like all of the personal profile information? Yeah, because you got to make sure you clean up the profile information first. Because once you do that, then it doesn't prohibit, but that's how a lot of the old creditors find you, is because when they do a skip trace or something like that, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the right Brian. He has this address before. He used to work at this place before. So we definitely want to get rid of all of that. We want to get rid of that first. Also, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, is to get all 3 reports and look for inaccuracies. Because if on one report it says that you owe, but on the other report it says that your payment is on time, that's automatically will get the negative deleted, because all credit reports have to be accurate. They all have to say the same thing. They can't have different things on different reports. So that's one thing, as you guys, move forward and help other people repair their credit, because every situation is going to be a little different. You know what I mean? I thank God, because for me, I had everything. I had foreclosures. I had maybe 7 foreclosures at one time. I had collections. I had almost $1 million IRS tax lien, bankruptcy. So if somebody's credit is worse than mine, I don't know them. You know what I mean? Mine was horrible. But, trial and error, learn this, learn that, learn this, learn that. You know what I mean? And now I'm able to, I got the battle scars. So I could pass the information on. One other thing about the credit also is, in the old days, you used to be able to, the credit bureau would talk directly to the creditor in order to get information. Today, that doesn't happen anymore. You have what's called secondary credit bureaus. They're in the middle of the credit bureau and the creditor, right? So you have, let's see if I can remember them: SageStream, CoreLogic, ARS, LexisNexis, and Innovis. Those 5. And so if you know anyone who has a record, anyone who has a eviction, if they go in and they opt out and freeze their report at these 5 secondary bureaus, they have a 90% chance that when they apply for housing or something like that, that it's not going to show up. And there are many people, right, who have bankruptcies or evictions, and they're good people, but bad things happen. And so now they want to get another apartment, or they can, or, somebody got locked up for something that, was petty or whatever. And now it's on the record and they can't get in. So here's a hack to get them to move forward. And then, the other thing too is credit repair is something, even if you just got out of jail, you can work on your credit. It is better these days to have an 800 credit score than it is to have $1 million. Credit is the new money. You know what I'm saying? Credit is the new money. So Joseph, let me ask you, are you having any issues, anything that I might be able to help you with one way or the other?
Mr. Scott, I'm frustrated. I'm just frustrated over here. I'm just
why? You got it right.
So there's a number of things, right?
Okay.
So because the other day, because TransUnion has always been my number one enemy when it comes to this whole credit thing, because my score dropped significantly, but I do understand why it dropped, so I'm not really too upset about that. Then I keep going back to this whole 5-year process, so we're still in year 1 of the 5-year process, so we're still doing good. Yeah. But my real irritation comes from the fact that so all of us have the Experian app, right? I think we all have the Experian app for the most part. So we have the Experian app, and then it shows you your score for Experian. Let's say your score for Experian is, I think last time I checked, it was like 630, right? But then if you click on that, it shows you all these other scores, like bank card scores, car loan scores. And I'm on time with my car loan, but I don't understand why and I sent the letters, so because Dominique just sent me this stuff. But I sent them my letters to get things taken off because they should have been removed. But I think my irritation comes, I don't understand why all of these different scores are hindering progress.
Well, it's not really all the scores. Basically, what happens is, I know you guys have heard of Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a free app, right? But it's what's called their algorithm is what's called a Vantage score. Yeah. It is not a FICO score. So what you're looking at is a misrepresentation of your credit score. Even though if you look at the credit report, it may be accurate. But Joseph, what you're seeing is your FICO score. And what most people don't know is that you have a FICO score for different things. You have a FICO score for cars. There's a FICO score for housing, a FICO score for credit cards. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing these multiple FICO scores. Also, what happens is there are different iterations of FICO. Some people use FICO 5. Some people use FICO 8. There's a new one coming out called FICO 10. So that's what you're seeing. So what happens is if you go to an institution, let's say you go to buy a car, and you should ask them, well, what FICO algorithm do you guys use? They'll say, well, we use FICO 8. You'll go back to Experian, you'll look, and you'll see what your FICO 8 is. You see, otherwise you would look at Credit Karma and you think that's your FICO 8, and it's really not. You know what I mean? But once your score starts to go up and you start to get things off, the scores will balance out, for the most part. But depending on how many cars you've had, if you only had one car, but you've had 3 houses, then your house credit is probably going to be stronger than your car credit. You know what I mean? But once again, what we want to focus on is just the basics. We want to get the MasterCard, the Visa, the Discover card, the American Express. Then we want to go and we want to go to and get the loan, right? We want to take out the loan. And that's going to help build the credit, because ultimately we want to have 100% payment history. We want between 2 and 9% utilization, 0 charge-offs, and maybe 1 to 2 inquiries. That's where we're trying to get to, because once you get there, your score is going to go through the roof. The other thing that might be missing is length of credit, because when you're new, right, your length is a year, 6 months, whatever it is. And now here comes the secret sauce. Once you get to that point, and the only thing you're missing is the length of credit, then you'll have to go out and get an authorized user. Right? Once you get the authorized user, you want someone to fill that gap. Someone who's had a credit card maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years, that now when they add it to your report, now you get that solid length of credit. Right? And that's gonna bring you up. Also, right, while we're working on the credit, you want to start your LLC. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait and start it. Start it now. Start it now, because all it's going to do is age, right? Start it now. Start your LLC. And then as your credit becomes better, then you move over and you start to get some of the business credit. Brian and Sade, have you guys got some of some business credit yet?
Yeah.
What do you have?
For is it through Sam's?
Sam's Club.
Yeah.
How was that process?
It was easy. It was like applying for a credit card.
Yeah, it was. You just have to watch the rep, because I basically did the job for her. the lady behind the counter. I was like, no, I want business. We want business credit, because she was trying to do it as a personal. We was like, nah. Hold on, you missed a spot right here. So you just gotta be careful going in there. You just gotta really like show them, pretty much like make sure it's business credit. So yeah.
Right. Do you guys have any other business credit other than that?
We got the bank accounts for Navy Federal so far.
The business account.
The business account there. But that's it right now.
Okay. Dominique, did you start a business?
Yes.
You did? Okay. Did you have your business bank account?
I don't think so. I think we're still working on that, because I for sure wanted to be through Navy Federal, but I'm not sure if my partner has Navy Federal. So I need to find that out. But I actually want to get one on my own, like my own stuff. I haven't done my own LLC and my own, like I'm actually have a business partner that I've been working with.
Yes.
And we have an LLC together, but I want to be able to I need to do my own thing as well.
Well, you can go online and open up your own LLC. You can go right online and do it. And I'm sure Brian and Sade will show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm going to start charging Brian and Sade, because
Come on.
We're keeping up the end of our bargain. We're sharing it.
Listen, I'll be at work.
Start charging them, because
We're telling everybody.
I'll be at work. I'll be like, why y'all using Bank of America? Why don't you just go to Navy Federal? Then I go straight through the credit. We go through the whole spiel. I'm telling you.
Joseph, do you have your own LLC?
I actually have two. Celebrate Jesus has one, and then we have one. All four of us together with the plug has its own LLC. So now we're trying to do the business
bank account
through Navy Federal, because now that we're all on Navy Federal, it makes it a lot easier. We can all see everything, and what comes in when we do our merchandise and stuff. So I was actually thinking about doing another LLC, but
I would if you could, because remember, I don't know if I told you guys this.
We're supposed to run our lives through it.
Yes.
Yeah, I need more.
I was getting ready to say that. I was just getting ready to say that, because once you get a credit card that's of a decent limit, and Dominique, I hope you use my Navy Federal after 1030 hack to get your credit card.
I did.
You did? Okay.
My limit was higher than my husband's. That is Navy Federal way longer than I did.
Oh, okay. Dominique, I'm going to have to start charging you too. I can see that right now. Joseph, me and you all right. But them other two, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Joseph, that means you ain't making enough progress. Come on.
Right.
I'm just the moderator.
I got you. Joseph, we're not going to stand for that. I got you. I'm going to have to work with you like I work with Sade and Brian. We're going to get you up there. So when you use that hack, did you share with anybody else, Dominique? Did you share that late night Navy Federal hack with anybody?
I don't know if that was in particular what I shared, but I share everything that we talk about. I'm taking notes as we speak. So that I can
Well, that'll work. So now also, you say your husband, he had a Navy Federal quite a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, there's something that Navy Federal has that's called 91-3. That's 91 days or 3 statements. You can go back to Navy Federal and request for a limit increase. With Navy Federal, you can only have 4 Navy Federal cards at one time. Also, what happens is after 1 year, you can do what's called a product switch. So if you start off in, let's say, a platinum card, but you always wanted an American Express card, you can just call them up and say, hey, listen, I've been with you guys for over a year, and I'd like to switch my credit card to the American Express card. Now, you're not going to get a higher limit. You're going to get the same limit, but at least now you have an American Express card where you can now get more points, things like that. And then over some time, once you establish the relationship with American Express, then you can also do the same thing on the business side, right? Let me give you a quick hack to run up a bag on the business credit, even on the personal side. So most people have 2 phones, or you got 2 computers, or it's you and your husband or your friend or whatever. What you do is you go, and I'm going to use Navy Federal and let's say Andrews Federal Credit Union. I like credit unions. I don't really, if you make $80,000 or less, I don't think you should be at a major bank. I don't see what the major benefit would be. But what you're going to do is you're going to fill out the applications, get them ready, and then hit the button at the same time to start the application. What that will do is the second applicant, right? The second application you put in won't see the inquiry from the first one. And the first one won't see the inquiry for the second one. So now simultaneously, you'll be applying for a loan, and you should always do 2 products with 1 inquiry. So when you go to Navy Federal or anybody, you should always apply for a credit card and a line of credit, and apply for it on the business side as well as the personal side. Because money is money, right? If on the business side, you got $100,000 worth of credit, and on the personal side, you got money, then it's all the same. It's all the same. And so I got something I want to show you guys, but let's see if I can see it. I don't really know how to do this. Let's see. Share screen.
Joseph know how to do it.
Joseph? Okay, let me see if I can get is it here? Share that. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my new book. My new book is coming out soon.
Congratulations.
People special credit repair.
I want an autograph version.
Yes.
Now how do I get out of this?
You out of it on our end.
On ours too. I definitely want one, and I will pay you for that.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
But it has to be
Absolutely.
It has to be signed.
Please.
Once again, it's a credit to you guys, because I just thought, I was like, I shied away from doing it a long time. I just never thought it was necessary. I thought everybody, not everybody, but most folks knew what I knew. I didn't think it was anything, anything that useful to that extent that somebody would want to pay me for. But I get people every single day that I talk to. We strike up a conversation, and I say something about stocks and bonds or crypto or real estate or flipping or something like that, and they are absolutely amazed. They're like, how do you know all of that? I'm like, because I've been around for a minute. I've been doing it. You know what I mean? I didn't just wake up the other day and realize it. So yeah, it's going to be called 5 Steps to Credit Repair, The Road to Redemption. And I'm taking people who have no credit all the way to a perfect credit score. Once you get up in the 7s, like Brian and Sade, then you start to see.
Dominique.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgive me. Joseph, you want to raise your hand?
I don't actually.
Oh, okay.
They know. Right. They know why.
He will eventually raise his hand.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna make it so.
I'm actually behaving myself today. Dominique has reminded me several times that this is not the plug, so I can't. I have to relax.
You have to be a guest.
I am a guest.
Yes. No, but I'm going to work with you definitely, because we're going to get you up there. It doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. It takes longer for others. You know what I mean? But Joseph, we probably just need to get you a few trade lines or something like that. You know what I mean? And so the next time I have you guys on, your score would be higher than everyone else's. You know, how about that?
I received that. I'm just busy. I'm just a busy person.
Because Brian, they're gonna get lazy. You know what I mean? Once they get all, they all 700.
They're not gonna get lazy.
Ain't no laziness over here.
They swaggy right now, so they're not really they're not really trying to to level up like that. You know what I'm saying?
We on that Tesla engine.
Oh yeah. Let me give you the play for the car too. So if you want to get a car, now it depends on what kind of car you want to get, right? All you have, because you guys have a business, run the car through the business, right? This way you can write it off. Also, remember that if you buy a car that's 6,000 pounds or larger, you can write it all off in the same year. Yeah. Now, how about this play? Go to Navy Federal, get a car loan. Let's say with the business, you get a $60,000 car loan. $60,000, no money down, right? Navy Federal, there's no money down. You buy the car, and now you put it on Turo. You have 45 days to make the first payment. So you probably can make money in the first 45 days because you could, with a 60,000, you probably could buy a 4 Series Benz. A 4 Series BMW or something like that, or something nice. You know what I mean? That people will want to ride around in Atlanta, and then you can make some positive. Because remember, a car is a depreciating asset, right? Right? It's really a liability. They call it, people in the accounting world, they call it depreciating asset, but it's really a liability. I don't see how it's an asset at all. But you can take that liability and make it into an asset. Because if you rent out the car 20 days a month, you got 10 days that you can drive around in it. All right. So that's another way that you can actually make some money. And then once you do it once and you get a cash flow model, then you can just scale up. You can just do it over and over again. Don't forget laundromats. Laundromats are recession proof. People will wash their clothes whether times are good or bad. Now, you're probably going to find more laundromats in more economically depressed areas, but nevertheless, right, money is money. People still wash their clothes and things like that, and you can get in and out of them relatively easy. You know what I mean? Because it's still one of the only cash businesses left.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, no.
The car rental app, what is it called? You said Turo?
Yeah, Turo and Hire Car. Turo and Hire, there's HYPER car or HYER, I don't know, something like that. Hire Car.
Mr. Scott, I did have a question about that because when we were talking about the LLCs and the businesses, on one of the episodes of The Plug, People Living Under Grace, you had mentioned something about PPP loans.
Yes.
Can you give some clarifying information about that? Because I keep hearing, like you said it to us, I keep hearing it, but every time I go to try to see if it's a possible thing for one of my oldest LLC, it's like they want all this information, and it's kind of hard to do because maybe my mindset is not where I'm not thinking the right way, because last year we didn't make any money because we didn't have any events. Right. So it's like, yeah.
Well, basically that's just it. So what happens is PPP is Payroll Protection Program. And if you don't have any income, then what are you protecting?
Right.
You don't have anything, which now I'm sure in the news you hear that the FBI or whoever it is, they're coming after a lot of people who got that money because they were fraudulent. Right. And in the beginning, during the pandemic, they were just giving it out. They didn't ask for any documentation or whatever. They were just giving out the money, and people, they took it. Now, the chickens come home to roost, and they're coming after a lot of people. You might want to take a look at the EIDL loan program, which is through the SBA. Because if you had any income last year, then that would count. Last year, right, they looked at 2019. But when you apply this year, they're looking at 2020. So this year, what they've done is I think you can get up to $50,000 without any tax returns or anything like that. Also, they're giving out a grant of up to $15,000 per corporation. 10 is bare minimum, stuff like that. And so the loan is a 1-year loan. I think it's at maybe about 3.5% interest rate, but the payments are not due for a year. So like I got my loan in August of 2020. It was supposed to be due August of 2021. They've pushed it back to August of 2022. So it's kind of like free money, right? So I can buy things with the money and have zero interest and have a year to pay it back, right? So you definitely want to look into that. Look into the EDIL loan. So Dominique, talk to me about the house situation. So what are you going to do moving forward? Are you thinking about buying maybe a house that you can fix up or something like that and use the FHA 203K program, or you're looking for shiny and new?
It's called FHA what?
FHA 203K, K as in King program.
So I'm sorry, can I interject real quick? Because I'm one of those people that just because I'm overwhelmed over here. So I was looking at an FHA. Right. I received that, Brian. I was looking at FHA because FHA is a little bit more. I received that too, Dominique. FHA seems to be a little bit more like flexible with certain credit scores if you're in between certain things.
You can have a 580.
Right.
You can have a 580 credit score and 3.5% down. And if you are a first-time home buyer in your particular state or city, you should apply for a first-time home buyers program, down payment assistance. So potentially, if you go where to get the loan?
Maybe federal.
Maybe federal.
There you go.
I should wait because I just got into Navy Federal.
You don't have to wait. Why? Wait, why? I mean, if you're interested in buying a house,
building a relationship, I would assume because I just got in.
Well, mortgages are different. Mortgages are a little different, right? Because when you get a mortgage, then you're tied at the hip for 30 years, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's a little different. I'm talking about credit cards and and things like that. When you get in, unless you got a high credit score, you shouldn't hit them right away, right? You should develop the relationship. But when it comes to a mortgage, then you should be all right.
And Navy Federal is funny acting too, as far as how many inquiries you have and all that. I spoke to a representative, and she said, even if you have an 800 credit score, if you got a bunch of inquiries and all that,
they won't do it.
They're not going to lend to you.
No.
And for a mortgage or for
any product,
or for anything.
Navy Federal don't like a whole bunch of inquiries.
Because I did some true confession, because we tell the real truth when at the plug. But it's not the plug. So one of the things that got my score down was the fact that I was looking into FHA because I thought that my score was in a certain bracket of time. I did not realize that it was a 640 here, but mortgage wise, which I don't have a mortgage, but all the other stuff between the two, it was the different credit scores that they were looking at, like Vantage or whatever FICO 8, FICO 2, whatever.
Right.
So I got hit with a lot of inquiries because I would say, oh, my credit score is a 640. I should be able to get this FHA loan with no problem. But then they would hit me back and say, oh, no, it's really a 571. I can tell my truth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, so that's why I got really angry, because I'm like, what's happening here?
I mean, were you applying over and over again?
Maybe 2 times.
May I ask why?
I can't remember why.
Oh, okay. Well, now don't do that, right?
Because I'm not at Navy Federal now, so I'm not going to do that no more.
Right, and I mean it's the same thing with and I was going to say with car places. When you get a car loan, where are you going to go?
Navy Federal.
Navy Federal. Why? Because they're going to approve you. You're going to have a check for cash, and then you're going to go into the dealership and you're going to beat them up. You're not going to tell them that you got cash. Do not go into the car dealership and say, I got all cash. Don't do that, because they're going to treat you horribly. You would like, wow, maybe they would treat me good. Remember that they don't have a chance to upsell you on a whole bunch of stuff when you get back to financing, because you got cash.
So how should we go in? How should we go in?
Just go in and talk to them. Hey, listen, I'm here. I'd like to buy that BMW 3 Series. You know what I mean? Take a look at it. You know, how much you want for it. No, well, I can't do that. You know, I need it for because you know how much the check is. Mm-hmm. Right? You walk in there with a $40,000 check, you know you got $40,000. Mm-hmm. I don't care what the sticker says. I mean, if the sticker says 85, believe me, you're not getting it for 40. But I'm just saying, you know, if it's 43, 45, you know what I'm saying, something like that, I'll go in and say, listen, you know, I like it, test drive it. My wife really likes it. I can only spend $40,000. Now, go to the guy in the back. Oh, well, now the game begins, right? How much you want to put down? What's your credit score? This, that, and the other. And I say, listen, I really don't want to discuss any of that right now, because if you guys can't give me the car at the price that I need to get it at, then why have this conversation? Because believe me, that's my wife. I am very impatient when it comes to buying a car. Very impatient. Very, very. You know what I mean? And I'm a little angry and upset. You know what I mean? The New York City comes out. You know, I'm
New York come out.
I'm a monster. I'm a monster when it comes to buying a car. So I try to stay away from it. You know what I mean? I try to let my wife go in and handle that portion of it. But basically, yeah, you can go in the Navy Federal, get the car loan. Now you got a check in hand. Now you go in, you beat them up, you get a low price. Well, you get the price that you need. And then when I give them that check, I always hit them with that line. Listen, oh, it does come with floor mats and a full tank of gas, doesn't it? Right when he got it in his hand. Oh, yeah, Mrs. Scott, yeah, we could give you, yeah, no problem. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. I was just wondering, because you would be surprised how many times you go to buy a car, there's only 2 floor mats, there's none in the back, and they want to give you a quarter tank of gas. They'll do it. I've seen it many a times. So I make sure that they give me new floor mats and a full tank of gas. Because why? I just paid you $40,000 or whatever it was, right? I know you made a commission. Now you didn't get as much as you thought you was going to get off me, but you know, they still made a few dollars, you know. But Dominique, I'm sorry. I think I was asking you before.
No, there's no reason for you to apologize. Every reason for Joseph, Jay the real.
Well, I mean, I let him kind of take over a little bit, you know. So
you let him be in his element.
Yeah. So, we're at home with Scott. We're at home with Mr. Scott.
Anyway, what I plan on doing is getting a multi-family home first,
okay.
And renting out one of the properties so that they can assist me with paying my mortgage for the entire property.
Okay.
And I'll find something that I really want to be in.
Okay. So, and you know, you still can go FHA.
Yes.
Right, up to 4 units.
I mean, I don't know about this part of California. I probably need to go conventional and there's no nice cheap properties out here. Everything's at least $400,000 or $500,000.
Well, remember, it doesn't have to be cheap. Doesn't have to be, because remember. So let's say on what you said, property's about $500,000.
Yes.
Okay, so on $500,000, you have to put down $15,000 plus closing costs. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe by the time you actually get ready to purchase, you know what I mean, you'll hit up a couple more of these institutions and you'll have $15,000. Also, remember, as a first-time home buyer and the first-time home buyer program, they'll probably give you $15,000.
Right. I mean, I have $15,000. I'm just moving slow, and I'm making investments.
Right, but I'm saying, why
get money back?
I'm saying, why spend yours when you can spend theirs? OPM, other people's money. Right. If they're going to give you if they're going to give you $15,000 down payment for free, Why would you say no? That's okay. I'll just spend mine.
Right.
Because you
Well,
got
at this
15,000.
point now, I'm pacing myself. At first, I was like, I gotta get out. I'm like, okay. We've been stacking some money up, but I'm making some investment choices first because another stream of income needs to pay my mortgage, not our jobs right now.
Definitely.
So,
You sound like
yeah.
me. I might have to start charging you, Dominique. I can see that right.
Because you got 15,000.
I'm
Yeah.
slowing it down.
Yeah.
Because you got 15,000.
Mind your business.
Can I get a loan? Because it was my birthday
Mind
last
your
week.
business. Mind your business. I'm making investments.
See, Brian. Not Brian. Joseph. You're gonna have to invest.
I just want to say real quick that this is the clearest that I've seen Dominique since we've started doing
What
podcasts.
are you trying to say?
Her phone has
Start
not
with the
glitched.
Android. I'm on my laptop. Don't start with the Android jokes on Mr. Scott's show.
Her
You know Mr. Scott is
Wait a
team
minute,
Android.
Who's trying to say something about my Android?
You about to switch over soon.
Wait. I wish you would.
I'm gonna come for no, for real. And with all due respect, Mr. Scott, like for all jokes aside, like we need you to come to Apple. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Clubhouse.
Oh,
We need you on our Clubhouse when we do our Clubhouse, when we start our rooms, when we do.
I thought you was about to say group texting.
Well,
You know, Brian.
I would like to see your
green
blue.
messages.
I would like to see your blue because I know it's been delivered. Sometimes I'll be waiting. I'll be like, okay, wait, did he get my message? Because I don't think I text you one time. I don't think you got it.
no, I'll probably. But I mean, it just depends. You know, most times I get it. You know, it just depends. And I go to bed kind of early because early to bed, early to rise. It's good for all us wealthy guys. So I try to not. I've always been a morning person.
I'm using that line.
Huh?
I'm using that line that you just said.
Yeah. So guys, listen, time is running out. But Joseph, let me start with you. Give me a quick rundown as to why you think credit is important and where you're going to be credit wise in the next 12 months.
Well, credit is important because it's your name. It's like, it shows if you're trustworthy. And I know for me, I'm working on, like, I'm a pretty trustworthy individual. I'm sure the people can attest to that. Dominique, stop. However, I'm trying to become very trustworthy when it comes to my credit name. And so in the next 12 months, I'm believing with all the hard work and the diligence and the fervor that I can be in the 700 club and be proud of it and stay there.
Not can be.
I will be.
Will be.
I will be in the 700.
Yes.
In the 700 club. Maybe even 8. I got to surpass my plugins.
I'm going to help you with that. I'm definitely going to help you with that. Dominique.
The last shall be first.
Talk to me about why you think credit is important and where will you be in the next 12 months?
Where will I be in the next 12 months? For sure, having another stream of income that I don't really have to put a lot of effort into gaining, because we definitely do that at our jobs. Credit is very important. I really want to make sure I appropriately deliver that to my children for them to fully understand. But I don't only want to communicate that. I want to set them up, for them to already have something going, and they don't have to start from the trenches, I was given credit advice as a child, but it was like, this is the advice.
Well, it probably wasn't relevant then. You know what I mean? You had really nothing to compare it to. You had no real experiences. So when you're young, your parents start telling you about credit and interest rates and stuff like that. You don't really, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. My mother told me, and I had every credit card there was, and I destroyed it. 21 years old, 2 MasterCards, 2 Visas, a Lane Bryant card, Victoria's Secrets card. I had too many cards. Hey. Take that look off your face. I was 21 then. 21. A long time ago. Brian and Sade, last but not least. Talk to me about why you guys think credit is important and where you see yourselves in the next 12 months.
Let's see. Credit is important, just like to piggyback on both what both of what they said, is to pass down to the kids, to have that confidence that, you don't have to be scared. I used to watch my dad go into the dealership. I used to hate it because he has A1 credit. And when I was a kid, I used to watch him and he would treat them so bad because he knew that he could get whatever he wanted,
Right.
And I hate it, but now I understand because people will treat you a certain way if you have bad credit, but when you know that you have good credit and you in there, you actually have that power to actually do what you want, do what you will, responsibly, not in an aggressive way or disrespectful way, but to be able to, because, life is to be enjoyed. God gave us life to enjoy it. It takes discipline. It takes responsibility. It's sharing it, and in the next 12 months, I see us having at least 4 properties,
multiple streams of income.
Well, we got multiple.
And the ultimate goal is for us to be blessed, to be a blessing.
Yes, correct. And I'll never forget what Mr. Scott said. He was like, "How long your break?" I was like, 30 minutes. He was like,
"Oh no,
30 minutes." That hurt my heart. I was like, you know what? I started thinking on that. I was like, you know what? Why am I only getting 30-minute breaks? And to be financially free, if I wanted to like quit, just be like, you know what? I don't need this, I don't need you to tell me to take a break. I'm gonna take my break whenever I want.
Yeah, I want to see you guys retired from what you do in the next 5 years. You can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. I'm telling you, I got some major plays set up for you guys that you would not believe. I'm telling you, I got you. You're going to be so excited. I'm not going to share it just yet. Many things I could tell you, but you're not ready for it yet. But I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, because I'm going to be 57. You guys don't want to wait till you're 57 to retire. That's too long. Because I didn't know what I know today. Back then, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know, but now you guys know. And so once again, I want to thank you guys very much for coming on today, but more importantly for just sparking, that thing inside me to allow me to get out and get on these lives and share the information with people. And hopefully I can be a blessing to you guys and you guys could be a blessing to other people. And so Joseph, I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you would, can you close us out in a prayer?
Absolutely, Mr. Scott.
Thank you.
All right. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity that you've allowed us just to come together one more time, just to say thank you, God, just to be able to fellowship with one another, in different states across the country, God. We're so grateful that you are still sovereign. You're still good to us. You're still kind to us. And so we're grateful that you've allowed us to be able to not only fellowship, God, but to glean from the wisdom that is Mr. Scott, who you've blessed us with to be in our lives, God. And then we're glad that we can able to be a blessing to him as well. And we pray, God, that everything that has been talked about on this live, we pray that you bless it, you push it out there to whoever needs to hear it, God, so that it can be a blessing to somebody else. And we pray victory, we pray honor, we pray glory, we praise your name, God, for who you are to us in our lives. We ask that you forgive us of our sins, knowing and unknowingly, God. And we pray, God, that as we leave this place of communication, but never your presence, we pray that we'll never forget to give your name glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus the Christ, whom we pray and celebrate and give thanks. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you very much once again. I'm closing down the broadcast, and please be here next Monday for Money Mondays, Financial Literacy, Closing the Wealth Gap 101, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.
Mr. Scott.